Welcome, Thunderbird Nation, to the Thunderbird Coaches Show. This is episode 7. We are sponsored, ladies and gentlemen, by the Warehouse Bar and Kitchen. The Warehouse Bar and Kitchen is celebrating their 2-year anniversary this October. Follow them on social media to stay up to date on all the fun and festivities coming up in October. The Warehouse Bar and Kitchen would like to invite all students over the age of 21 to come out to their Halloween events. Warehouse will be hosting a free live band as well as having a huge dance party. This coming up on Halloween weekend. Stay safe this month and remember to always drink responsibly. The Warehouse Bar and Kitchen, ladies and gentlemen, great sponsors of the show. Love those guys over there. Go check them out when you get the chance. Coach, we are just getting back home from Lexington, Kentucky. Well, I guess where is EKU? Richmond, Kentucky, just kind of down the way from Lexington. Had a good opportunity there to fight it out with the Eastern Kentucky Colonels. Coach, give us a recap. Give us kind of how that went down and how the boys fought there.
Yeah, made the trip to Lexington and Richmond, and Richmond's a suburb of Lexington, Kentucky, but made the trip, and the flight was smooth, and the hotel was great, and the food was great, and everything went as smooth as possible. Went out on the field Saturday night. We were ready. We were ready to play. Coaching staff, assistant coaches did a nice job getting our players ready to play. Our players did a great job of getting themselves ready to play, but went out and we were ready to play, and John didn't do enough. Didn't do enough to be successful Saturday night. We were never in control of the game. Had 2 opportunities to take the lead, once in the first half, once in the second half, and missed field goals that we should make. But just didn't do enough to be successful. John, we ran into a buzzsaw at the quarterback position. And,
man.
I'm going to get his name wrong. Is it Patrick McKinney? Is that the young man's name, number 18?
We'll look it up.
And anyway, yeah. Eastern Kentucky's quarterback, hot as a $3 pistol.
Yeah.
And anyway, he had 5 incompletions Saturday night, and 4 of them hit the wide receiver's hands, and 1 was a throwaway.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of things on the football field, but I've never seen a quarterback go in a 3-hour and 15-minute football game and not miss.
Yeah, he was incredible.
Rush for 73 yards and 3 touchdowns on us, and there were zone reads where he's reading it and keeping the football on the goal line. I would say it was selfish on his part. He was trying to score all the touchdowns, but then when you see it on film,
he made the right reads.
He made the right read.
Absolutely.
Did exactly what he was supposed to do. John, we're proud of our players, not satisfied. We're playing grown man football. College football is grown man football, and there are no moral victories. But we like our football team, really like our players, wouldn't trade them for the world.
Yeah.
But we've got to get better this week if we're going to be successful this fall.
Yeah. Coach, you mentioned to me earlier before the game that there's really 3 or 4 things that would have to kind of bounce our way for us. We were I believe 13-point underdogs in that game. So, it was a tall task, but the fact that the guys were ready to play, they had the energy going, and they really stood up to that first quarter. We go 3 and out. They come down and really just came right down the field and scored on us. And then from there on out, we went blow for blow, right? I mean, it's a situation in which they could have folded. They didn't. It wasn't a victory, but I believe there were some things, good things that came out of that, especially as far as guys having each other's backs and fighting, offense for defense, defense for offense. It was nice to see that they didn't fold their cards and just went and played their hand.
Yeah, we're not going to fold, John. We're not ever going. Our players are not ever going to fold, and we're going to fight and finish. Man, we needed to finish a little better Saturday night than we did, but we're not ever going to fold.
Yeah. So as far as that goes, tell me a little bit about that quarterback going for 73 yards. Is that something that is a read on his point? You were talking about different reads, but man, that dude could scamper. Like, he just seemed like a tall, not super athletic until he started taking off, and it was just a little zip and a little zag. What did you see out there as far as defense that we would maybe have done different?
Yeah, our coaching staff's working 12 to 16-hour days this entire fall. We call Sunday off day for us, and we're working 10 hours on Sundays.
Yeah.
Their coaching staff is doing the exact same thing.
Sure.
And here's what happened: they watched Western Illinois put in a quarterback that we hadn't seen 2 weeks ago, and the little fellow was running zone read, and he was reading it, and we couldn't tackle him, and he was doing some good stuff. Well, Utah Tech didn't take advantage of that last week, but 2 weeks later, Eastern Kentucky watched that Western Illinois film 40 times.
Yeah.
And they knew that if the quarterback kept it, he was going to be one-on-one in space with our defensive players. And then we didn't tackle well. When people zone read us, the outside linebacker has to make the tackle. And frankly, an outside linebacker should be able to tackle a quarterback, but it didn't happen Saturday night.
Yeah, yeah. I just want to ask, and this is a question I have. No one's brought this up to me, but you came from the Division III and then Division II. We're halfway through the season here in your first Division I season. Is there any difference? Is it? I mean, I know football is football, but what can you say is the biggest difference jumping from Division II to Division I, or is there no difference whatsoever?
I'm NAI to Division III,
yeah, you're right.
to Division II,
yeah.
to Division I. Hey, I'm proud. I'm proud to say that I climbed a ladder and our coaching staff climbed a ladder.
For sure.
You're asking me about the biggest difference?
Yeah, I mean, is it from a coaching standpoint? Is it? I'm guessing schemes are all the same. Football's football.
Hey, here's the difference. NAI and Division III teams don't get on planes and fly across the country and play ball the next day. There they go. You don't stay in first class hotels and eat steak and baked potato and stuff for pregame meals. That doesn't happen in NAI and D3. There's the biggest difference. Okay. That's not the answer you were looking for.
Well,
here's your answer.
I was fishing a little bit. Let's see what we'll see if I can get a
nibble here. We don't stay in the penthouse of the Riverboat Casino overlooking the Mississippi River.
That was pretty nice in Western Illinois. Yeah.
The place is nice.
That was
nice.
The
place is nice. I've been in a few hotels, and that's as good a view as I've ever had. Here's the answer you're looking for. In Division I football, the kids are longer and they're stronger. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not sure the skill level. The actual skill level, throwing motion and ability to catch and to catch tuck and offensive lineman stance and start and first step, I don't know if that's better in Division I than it is in Division III. There are some great coaches in NAI and Division III football.
Absolutely,
great coaches.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, and we were D3 for 2 years out there, kind of wrecking shop in that conference. But the Division III coaches that I ran up on were better than the Division II coaches overall. Teams from time to time had an exception. Coaching's great at that level, but they're bigger, faster, stronger at Division I. But the skill level, there's no difference. If you throw 25 slant balls to a good Division I player, and then you turn around and throw 25 slant balls to a good Division III player, the D3 player is going to catch the same percentage as the D1.
Okay.
His skill level's the same. It just, instead of being 6'2", he's 5'9".
Yeah.
And instead of being 210, 215, he's 180, 185.
Got it.
And instead of running a 4.4 flat, he runs a 4.75.
Yeah.
There's the difference. I'm going to finish with this. Football is football is football. And the team that blocks and tackles and defeat blocks and play for each other, they're good at any level.
I like to hear that, because candidly, sometimes people, they'll think that an NFL coach or a big FBS coach, they have something different up their sleeve. The reality is football is football is football. Can you motivate your guys to execute?
Yeah.
Can you teach them? I mean, at this point, we're talking about, just the skill level. There's some teaching that goes on, I'm sure, but the reality is, at this point in their careers, they know how to tackle, they know how to catch the ball, they know how to run with the ball. I'm sure there's tightening up some of those skills, but the reality is football is football is football, and I love to hear that.
You sell them a little bit short when you go, there's some teaching. The teaching's at an elite level.
Okay, well that's another part to this, right?
Yeah, our coaching staff and other coaching staffs in the country, they are elite football teachers. And I'm gonna get on a tangent here in a second. Hey, Lance Leipold, Landslide, the best coaching job Division I football right now is University of Kansas. They're 5-0 and done won 4 or 5 games that they shouldn't have won, doing it in a very, very unique fashion.
Yeah.
Lance Leipold 5 years ago was the head coach at Wisconsin Whitewater, and 75% of everybody out there is wondering who is Wisconsin Whitewater and where's it at?
Who in the heck?
He goes from D3 at Wisconsin Whitewater to Division I at the University of Buffalo. Fixes a program that could not be fixed. And they go to 2 or 3 straight bowl games, and then he gets a Kansas job. They go 2-10 last year. They are 5-0 right now. And as long as Lance stays, as long as him and his staff stay in Kansas, they're going to be successful at Kansas. Now, Kansas got a big problem now because you got to pay them to keep them from going somewhere else.
Well, yeah, but them Jayhawks, they can raise some cash. They might have to borrow some from their basketball team, but they'll get it done.
Big basketball program.
That's
over
right,
there.
absolutely.
They got something going for them.
Borrow some from our basketball players.
Yeah, no kidding. You're right there. Okay, so really there is an elite level of teaching. There's more than just the basics. There's some elite level skill being taught. All the way up through. So
I won't ever say it's the best. Football is as well taught on any college campus as any other subject on that campus. Hey, when the team's good.
Yeah.
When the team's successful.
Yeah, okay. That's not something I really as a fan wrap my brain around, but as you say it makes perfect sense. The best teachers and the best studying and the best schemes are always going to find, their way to success, whether that's in accounting or whether that's in football or whether that's in nursing. That makes perfect sense. I've never thought of it that way as a fan, though.
The level of volunteerism, and it's football, basketball, gymnastics, track and field, the level that the level of time that the kids volunteer to it. Leonidas is here with us today, and he's required to be at about 10 hours a week of football stuff, and then he volunteers another 10 to 20 to 30 hours of his time each week because it's what he wants to do. It's what he wants to be at. And when they want to be there, when a young man wants to do – adolescent male, when he wants to do something and he volunteers to be there, the level of learning is at an all-time high.
I like it. Speaking of Leonidas Jacobsen, do you want to introduce our guest here real quick?
Sure. Leonidas Jacobsen, out of St. George, Utah, Pineview High School, if I remember right.
Desert Hills.
Desert Hills. I didn't.
The rival.
I just said you were. There you go. Desert Hills. I'm sorry.
He's just stirring it up. Leo,
forgive me. Leonidas is our starting center. Does a great job. One of the leaders on our football team, leaders on our offensive line. But 5 games into this has been as good as any center that I've coached in recent years, and happy to have him with us and proud to be his coach. Leonidas has a career ahead of him that he doesn't even know about yet, but he has a reputation in this town as the best mover. So everybody moving into town calls Leo to unpack them, and everybody moving out calls Leo to come pack them up.
Leonidas moving and storage.
That is me.
That's awesome.
I think I three houses in the summer, something like that.
Dang.
Took charge. Our athletic director, Debbie Quorum.
Sure.
Our old head athletic trainer, Nate Lauer. And then one more. But, yeah, I definitely didn't expect to be moving people out of houses. But
you obviously are good at moving things. You're an O-lineman.
Yeah, exactly.
So it just comes with the territory.
Exactly.
That's cool. Leonidas, so from Desert Hills down in St. George. Man, tell us a little bit about your high school experience there at Desert Hills. You're one of the unique players that we've had on the show, being that SUU was in your back door the whole time. Yep. You've probably grown up listening to or attending games. That's a unique perspective because we got a lot of guys from out of town
for sure.
But give us a little scoop about your career there at Desert Hills, and then also your recruiting process from Desert Hills to Southern Utah University.
Yeah. So down in Desert Hills, we have a team camp we still hold here at SUU.
Okay.
And so as a team, we play all the other high schools, Vegas, Northern Utah, stuff like that. And SUU, that's some of the best memories we have from high school. I mean, our buddies, we still talk about it all the time. this happened at SUU. We did this, right? It's like 5 days straight of just football and your best friends, right?
Yeah.
And so always had a great experience of SUU. Great feeling about it. And so my senior year, coming to the camp, I just had a great camp. I was able to catch, it's an old coach here, Trevor McFalls. I was able to catch his eye, talk to him a little bit more, bit more. Got introduced to our O-line coach, who's Aaron Fernandez.
Sure.
And just kind of stayed in contact with them. But that like build up and being a part of the SUU camp and that pride of being able to go to SUU and continue my playing years, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Was really important and something I'm really proud of.
I love to hear that. So that kind of just brings to mind the importance of those camps.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean, that's a great tool that we have at our disposal, SUU,
For sure.
to create lasting memories for a lot of these high school kids that are going to come up with their buddies, play some football. And you just mentioned that as one of your best memories, right?
Absolutely.
Of being here on campus, playing football. That's killer. I love to hear that. So, you know, all those prospects out there that are looking to come over.
Yeah, I mean, it's
a good time. I mean, we're talking life memories here.
Yeah, coming out of high school too, I was not a big guy, right? My senior year, I was probably only, I maybe played at 220, something like that at left tackle. And so I wasn't like everyone, you always hear about these 4-star recruits, this big recruit.
Sure, a little under the radar in high school. Yeah.
And so to get the chance and to be able to develop and be a part of something and have this process build to something is something I'm really proud of and something that like I will forever have as a memory and be forever thankful of SUU.
Yeah, isn't it cool? Like if you're kind of flying under the radar, you're not as big as that FCS level O lineman, but to be recognized for your talent and then to be developed.
Exactly.
That guy almost gives me chills, right? Because that's what we do here, candidly, at SUU.
For sure.
How many 5-star recruits do we have on the team, Coach?
0.
Yeah. So the idea of finding someone like yourself that's got the skill, that's got the talent, that can be developed into a starting player at SUU in our own backyard.
Yep.
I mean, Leonidas, you're kind of the poster boy for what we're all about.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate it. We're offensive linemen, and our group, we harp on, we do our job and we do it silently. And if you don't hear about us, then we've done it well, you know. A little bit different to be, you know, a little bit more in front of the public, but
yeah, I hear you.
We love it.
This is your shot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, this is your chance. I told everybody I was bringing Leonidas Jacobsen with me this morning. Went, who is that?
Actually, I was like, that is probably the coolest first name of anyone I've ever met.
Appreciate it.
Leonidas.
Yep.
Sounds like a warrior, like a Spartan or something.
That's exactly what it is.
Oh, there you go.
King Leonidas.
King Leonidas.
Yep.
I was on to something. So, Leonidas, tell us here at SUU, what are you studying? What's your major? Give us a little rundown of the student part of student athlete here.
Yeah, for sure. So I actually graduated last semester. I have a degree in accounting. I'm currently enrolled in the MBA program. So going about that, the student aspect of being a student athlete, busy is one word I could.
It's like a full-time job and then a part-time job on top of it, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you have to approach it that way. And you develop. I personally have developed these lifelong skills of time management and being able to set up my day properly. Because truthfully, if you don't, it's
hard to have success, isn't it?
Yes. And when you start digging yourself that hole, it's real hard to get out of it. And so I've been lucky enough to develop these through trial and error and help from teammates and coaches to develop these time management skills and put them forward to being able to graduate with my degree in accounting and go on to be in the master's program. So it's busy for sure.
Let me stop you right there. So It sounds to me like this would be a good class for the freshmen, incoming freshmen that are coming on, that are high school kids that really don't quite know what they're getting into as far as the depth of the pool they just jumped in. A time management course on how to get this all done in the 24 hours that that we have in a day.
Absolutely.
So, okay. Well,
Successful student athletes understand time management. Yeah.
Okay.
If they don't understand it, they learn it real quick.
Yeah, and if they don't learn it, it's not going to be pretty,
It's
right?
going to serve him well in his Leonidas Logistics company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moving in, I'm on board. We might have to put a.
You got an investor across the way.
That's what I was just going to say.
exactly.
We might have to talk after. We'll get this thing rolling.
It's the start.
Yeah, we'll just get this thing rolling. Logistics is a big business. Okay, so we've talked about time management. We talked about your studying. You got a degree in accounting, getting an MBA. What does that all culminate to? What's the goal? What are you looking to do? Maybe play a little after, or if that's not in the cards, what do you want to be when you grow up?
So growing up, you're kind of on the fence. You're not quite sure what you want to do. Currently,
I'm 45. I'm not quite sure what I want to do.
Exactly. I currently go to our business program here is really great in that they have a lot of meet the firms nights and a lot of stuff like this.
Yeah.
And so recently I've been going to a lot of these and talking to, in accounting, the big four, Deloitte.
Yep.
Deloitte is one of the big four.
Yep.
And so speaking to them, speaking to these other firms, going into something like audit. I know it's not, a lot of people hear accounting and audit and they're like,
It's not the sexiest term,
Yeah.
but it's got to be done.
Yeah, it does. You make a lot of money, but you also, there's more to it, and there's more of a personable aspect to it. There's more like personality that goes into it than people think. It's really not just you sit behind a computer and type numbers on, right?
So maybe steering your career path towards one of those big fours to start with.
Yeah, like currently speaking, with like Deloitte, have an interview set up with them, kind of thing. And
Very
so,
cool.
Looking at that audit type of road for
Cool.
sure.
So you got really cool prospects after you're done here.
And there is the beauty of college athletics and football. Like his mind is numbers.
Yes.
He likes numbers. He wants to punch numbers. And me, I don't want anything to do with business or numbers. And for darn sure, don't want anything to do with an audit. But
you and me both.
Want no
I
part
don't
of
want. I'm
any
not
of
going to
that.
utter the word.
But college athletics and college football allows us to know each other and get to know each other. And Leonidas meet me and me to meet him. It's great.
Yeah, and like you said, it's really what this is all about.
Mm-hmm.
This is an opportunity for some athletes to shine with their physical gifts and abilities, but also, more importantly, is get that education and get those opportunities
For sure.
to be contributing members of society after the cleats are hung up.
I think we coach spoke about it yesterday in one of our team meetings, but he compared football to life, and he said it's one of the best, if not the only sport that imitates life.
Mm-hmm.
And from my own experience, some of going on and when I speak in interviews, when I speak in things I know, almost all of it is from learned experiences
Football
from
related.
football. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, that brings my next question up. What's the most important lesson you've learned from football?
That coach said it a great way. He said, when you examine the small things, you find that there are no small things. And whether that's day-to-day life, whether it's in a football play, it can be as small as, for offensive line, our feet are super important.
Yeah.
Our feet and our hip level, most people say pad level. You step with the wrong foot, you step maybe a little too far with the wrong foot, right? You're going to miss a block.
You could be toast.
Exactly.
Just by a few inches of foot placement.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so when you look at these small things, you realize there are none.
Yeah.
And so once you become great at really focusing and dialing in these details, that's when you can start to become great, whether it's in your day-to-day life of detailed work at wherever you're going to work later on, or on the football field.
So attention to all of the variables and the details
For sure.
That culminate in the whole success. Like when I think of that, I think of like the pyramid, right? You got this huge, massive endeavor, and it's gorgeous. And when you see it, you're like, wow, that's an awesome, thing that humanity did. But the reality is that little dude that was making the bricks or the blocks or whatever, that had to be right. Each individual one, and the spacing and where they were placed, or that thing would fall down.
Yep.
Right? So every tiny little situation in your life, every tiny detail in your day, those are all things that lead you to success. And so I appreciate that. Thanks for that answer. We're going to do just a really quick rapid fire, get to know you a little better.
Cool.
And then we'll move on to our preview of Tarleton State. So what's your favorite ice cream flavor?
Ooh, that's a good one. Probably mint chocolate chip.
Okay. What about dream car?
Dream car.
Yeah.
Ooh, there's a lot. I mean,
You can name a couple.
if we're talking like supercar, there's
No, we're talking about whatever you want.
Hey,
some
orange,
people.
orange 77 Ford
Oh,
Bronco.
yes,
That's
that
pretty
one.
dope. Yeah.
Yes. If we're talking supercar, there's a car called a Koenigsegg Agera R.
Yeah, the Koenigsegg.
That's one of them,
That's
for
it.
sure.
Could you even fit in one of those?
I think maybe
You try to make it
You'd
work.
make it,
I'd
make
make
it
it work. The top comes off.
That does, you're
I'd
right.
stick my head up the top if I had
There
to.
you go. And then like favorite teammate.
Favorite teammate. I would say the whole O-line. I think we got a great group.
I should probably stop asking that question, right? Because it's gonna it's
to offensive linemen.
yeah,
you should,
no,
yeah.
it's because the reality is Lyle said the same thing. He's
they're
like,
smart.
there's no way
They're
I can
smart.
have
They just
one.
pick them all.
Yeah, so it's the whole position group.
Yeah, I really think we got a great group. Got a great group of guys. Great. I think we know each other really well. I think we complement each other well. Credit to our coach Aaron Fernandez too, and the whole line for sure.
So you've been at SUU for a while now.
Yes,
One
sir.
last question. That's not rapid fire, but let's just take a few seconds. We don't
Okay.
need a long answer. But who's the most improved player that you've seen behind the scenes? Maybe no one knows them. They might not start. They might start. But who's that teammate that you see striving to get better and just putting in that work every day? Just put a little spotlight on somebody that maybe is the people don't know.
Okay, that they don't know.
Or they might. I mean, it could be you. I don't know. Like, like who do you think, as you've been observing your teammates, who do you think does it right?
God, there's a lot of good ones. Truthfully,
just one. That's all we want.
Truthfully, I would probably say Lyle does a lot of things really well. He was very similar in that he came in, small guy,
Little undersized.
right? Had to develop. I think we have a couple guys on the O-line too that show like the amount of development that can happen to become these great players if you have the right mindset, if you have the right details to continue to do what is needed to be done.
Awesome.
And I think Lyle's one of those guys that is a good blueprint to see like how it's done.
All the
to
way
see where
from
he's
being
come from.
undersized to
Exactly.
starting on the O-line and being a force there. Cool.
Yep.
Man.
Yep. I think we have a lot of guys on the O-line that are like that, but
Cool. All right. Well, that's Leonidas Jacobsen, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate you being here, man.
hey, thank you very much.
We've got about 3 minutes left, Coach. Let's just wrap this up. Let's preview Tarleton State coming up at Eccles Coliseum this Saturday. Give us the scoop. Just give us a preview.
Yeah, great football program. So great, good coaching staff, great head coach. In a unique position, head coach calls the offensive plays, so they're unique that way. For you asked about stars on our team, they got a 4-star quarterback, so signed with Kentucky out of high school.
Oh, Allen, yeah,
got to play a little bit in 2020, got to play a little more in 2021. Wasn't going to be the starter this year and transferred to Tarleton for fall camp, hadn't been there long enough to have hit his peak yet. Bo Allen's going to continue to improve. Even worse than that for our conference is he's got 4 years to play. So,
wow. Yeah, I guess with a red shirt and a COVID.
Yeah, got a COVID and a red shirt, and so he's a 20-year-old freshman doing a nice job for them. Athletic, tall wide receivers. Athletic, tall wide receivers do a nice job. We've got to play their height because we're going to lose a height battle out there a little bit.
Yeah.
Their offensive line is above average to good, and they seem to be getting better each week. So their O-line coach is doing a nice job, and we like them there. Flip over on defense, and their defense is very similar to EKU. Their defensive formations and fronts and coverages are similar to EKU, so we're going to see stuff that we've seen before. And obviously they've got a couple of wrinkles that are different from EKU's, but it's very, very similar there. The good thing about that is Leonidas and our offensive line doesn't have to come up with new blocking schemes this week. We kind of know what we're getting. The bad part about that is they can look and see exactly what we attempted to do last week, and they know how to shut it down.
Yeah,
because they've got guys in the same spot. They play a little more with the 4-eye. Their tackles ends are in a 4-eye a little more than EKU's were. Their back end is solid. I think their linebackers are above average to good. They're two safeties. Two safeties, good football players. Good football players, and two safeties seem to be the leaders of their defense, which is always a good thing. They play very hard on special teams. So us matching and exceeding their effort on special teams will be key for us, but all of their starters are playing one or two special teams and playing really, really hard, something we're trying to get to.
Yeah.
We lost a special teams battle last week, and everybody saw it. And for us to have success as a football program, we've got to win the special teams part of the football game, but that'll be another challenge this week. John, we're home. We're home on a Saturday night in Cedar, and I haven't seen many me personally, since James Madison, I haven't seen a Saturday night atmosphere as good as Cedar City at 6 p.m. on a Saturday night. Like to invite our town and all the student body out again to pack the stadium. Sell out last time. Let's sell it out again. Now we got to coach a little bit here. Got to coach a little bit.
We need a little coaching.
Third down. Do not be a wine and cheese crowd on third down. It should be ruckus and unruly on third down. And if it gets to fourth down, you should be borderline getting arrested. You should be so out of control. We've got to get to that. We got to
sustain it, right?
We
get the volume up, and then it just kind of dwindles. Either we got to be more patient, or we just got to keep just that level going on third down the whole time.
It gets loud for about 15 seconds.
You're right.
We need it loud for 40 seconds.
Yeah.
And it need it loud for 40 seconds, and a fourth down should be even more than that. And then as a fan, think of it this way: you're going to get 4, 5 to 10 minutes to rest after you're loud that one time. But
right.
It needs to be loud. Hey,
I love it.
To Cedar City and our alumni and students, come out on Saturday night at 6 p.m. Bring your cowbells, bring your noisemakers, and let's go.
Yeah, let's go. I think that's a perfect place to leave this. Saturday night, let's get rowdy, let's get loud, let's have a great time at Eccles Coliseum, ladies and gentlemen. Tarleton coming our way. For Leonidas Jacobsen, Coach Delane Fitzgerald, I'm John Smith. We'll sign off.
Go Thunderbirds.
Thank you.